What's up guys, welcome to the channel. In this tutorial I'm going to be going over how to design a mascot logo for a sports team, an esports team, video game team, whatever you want to use it for. We're going to be redesigning the Tampa Vipers logo. They're an XFL team, and a lot of the logos in this league are not very good, and this is probably my least favorite one, and I thought it could have been done a lot better, so I decided to go ahead and redo it. So we're going to hop right into it here with the sketches that I did. I did these using Procreate on the iPad, and you'll be able to see that we started off just by sketching out a few like super rough sketches. I didn't really like the direction these were going, so I just kept going over it over and over again. I wanted to have the V at the bottom with the head of the snake coming out of the top, and you can kind of see me exploring there for a little bit, but I didn't like the shape of what I was doing, so I ended up just taking a regular snake head and kind of tracing over it to get the best shape of the snake head as I could. And then from there I went through and like reshaped it and all that. That way it didn't look too realistic. That's like the biggest thing, is making sure it doesn't look too real. You want it to still carry that like cartoonish mascot feel. So once I got down to basic sketch, I went through and I inked it all like better, but not finalized it. That's what Illustrator's for. And then I went in and just gave it some colors. That way I have like a reference point for when I finish it up in Illustrator of how I want it to look. So this is what the final sketch is. It's pretty simple. It's a lot better looking than what they currently have though. So we're just going to go into Illustrator now and vector this thing up and show you how to do all that. So I already brought the screenshot into Illustrator, and then I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to lower the opacity down a little bit so that I can see what I'm doing when I vector it better. And then we're just going to lock that layer, and I'm going to make a new layer over it. So I'm going to start here with the pen tool. It's right over here. It looks like a pen, and it's like 4 or 5 tools down. And how you use the pen tool is you're going to click and then click on where you want to do it again, but don't let go. Just click and hold and then drag to match the path that you want to do. And then I'm going to take off the fill down here in the corner and just leave me with a stroke. And then I'm just going to go through here and trace till I have half of the snake traced. I'm going to do that because this logo here is completely symmetrical, so I don't need to do the whole thing. I can just do half, and then at the end I'm going to copy it and flip it, and then we will have the full. Now a quick trick when you're going to this like middle part to make sure that it aligns perfectly, well, when you like flip it to the other side, you're going to click on what you want to meet in the middle, and then you're going to hold shift and you're going to pull it just like this so that you get a horizontal anchor point. That way when you flip it, it's going to do the same thing on both sides, and it's going to meet in the middle nice and perfect. And then I'm going to click off of that, and I'm going to go back to where I started, and I'm going to do the same thing and start on this bottom half and do the same thing. That way it looks perfect when I flip it. So now, since this is going to be part of this part right here is going to be subtracted from the back, what we're able to do is select both by holding shift and click on both shapes just like that. And then you're going to go over to the shape builder tool. You're going to hit Alt, hold it down, and then click on the piece you want removed, and that's going to take it right out of there for you. And then I'm going to make this a nice bright red color so I can see that I've already vectored that out. And then we're going to keep on moving and vector the rest of this thing. So now that I have all of the base of the snake all colored in, you can see that we have like the shapes but not any of these little shadow things or anything like that. So now I'm gonna flip these all to be outlines, and then I'll be able to go in and do all this little shading. We're gonna do that by clicking, and then do the same thing, trace. Don't worry about going outside the lines because we're going to just go right back in there. Make that a solid, that way you can see the difference, and select both the shape that you want to be the shade and the shape that you're shading, and do the same thing as we did before with the shape builder tool. Hold the Alt button and minus, and then that'll put this shade right inside the shape. And then what I'm gonna do is go back into here, and I'm gonna bring this all the way up, that way I can pull all these colors out before I start shading too much. Then a quick tip to duplicate an item is to hold Option and Command at the same time on a Mac, and then just click and drag. And then Command I gives you the eyedropper, and we're gonna do the same thing, and we're gonna do that a couple times by doing Command D. Then I'm gonna go in and just pull all these colors that were originally used in the first Vipers logo. Alright, cool. And now we can go ahead and bring that down again, and we don't need it anymore, so we can go and lock that layer one more time. And then what I'm gonna do is go in here and make all of these the color I want them to be. And then I'm just gonna keep going through and adding all these shades. So now that we have this whole half of the snake colored in and all the shadows and everything is good with that, we can ignore this back part for now. What we're going to do is hit Option Command similar to before to duplicate everything once we select everything, and then we're just going to drag it right over to the side. We're going to go to Transform, and under Object, Transform, Reflect, and then you're going to reflect it over the vertical, and then you're going to just grab it. A trick is to grab it by a specific anchor point, and then when you drag it over, it'll connect right to the other anchor point that you have, and then that way you can guarantee that there's no like break or anything like that in between each of the pieces of the snake. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this guide and just make sure everything matches up good. And then once you have all of this, we're going to take everything, we're going to make a duplicate again, and then you're going to go to Window, Pathfinder. If you don't already have it open, I already have it open. And then we're going to take this duplicate, we're going to click on this right here to make it all one shape, and it just kind of brings everything together. And then same thing as before, we're going to go in and we're going to drag it with one of the points selected. That way it matches up right perfect with the point and there's no gap. And we're going to select our background color. My background color is dark green. And then I'm going to do Shift Command and then the left bracket on the keyboard and that's going to drag it all the way to the back. Once you have that, you're going to take the solid shape that you still have selected and turn it into a stroke, and you're going to bring the weight up to whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to bring the weight up to 55, looks pretty good for what I need. And then if you want to like cap it off like that or round it or whatever, you can, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take this right here and save it just like that. And then what I'm going to do is go to Object, Expand. I'm going to expand everything, and then it's going to give me this. And some of this is going to be easily changed. If you have anything that sticks out like that, just go to your shape builder tool again and hold down Alt and just eliminate these real quick. And then just look around, make sure nothing else looks off. Up here, you're not going to be able to do that. You're just going to have to take the anchor points and adjust to them. And you'll be able to do that with the direct selection tool right up here. It's the white arrow. So once I have that, I can decide if I want to go in and clean anything up. So I'm going to take all these ugly like paths in the back, and I'm just going to bring them all together again like I did before. And then another way I like to clean it up is to just take another rectangle and then bring that all the way to the back, make it bigger, and then what you can do is the same thing, shape builder tool it, and then you can get rid of the top one, and now it's all one shape. There's no gap or anything like that, and it's all perfect. And now this comes to a point right up here. I don't want it to do that, so what I'm going to do is just take my pen tool, and I'm going to just kind of freehand this and draw what I think would be right. And then I'm just going to go right above it, select both of them, use the shape builder tool. Again, a lot of designing mascots is shape builder and pen tool. That's pretty much all you need in Illustrator. You don't need a whole lot more unless you're trying to do text or anything like that. So now we have that looking right, and all the shadows and highlights kind of match up. You don't want this to be a highlight and then this one down here to be a shadow, because they kind of have the same light source. Unless you think that the V goes in front of the snake, then maybe that could be a shadow. But I like to keep the shadows all consistent and the highlights all consistent. So now we're able to go in here, and the colors are up to you. I could take that and make it green. It could be yellow. I think I'm gonna leave that green, and I'll see how this looks when it's yellow. I don't know if I like that, so I'm just gonna leave it white. And then it's just kind of details and seeing if you want to do anything else to this. In my original sketch, I had some eyes like that, and I think I want to put them back in there. So I just drew that with the brush. I'm gonna go in with the pen tool and just making a nice sharp line. And then once I have that, I'm gonna go and take out that brush blob that I drew before. And then one trick, since this is already duplicated and flipped and all that, I'm just gonna go and take this eye and remove that from the eye. I'm gonna hold Alt and Command on the Mac and then drag it right over here. And then I'm going to do an object, reflect, and flip it right back to where it was. And put this eye right where this eye is. And then delete the eye that's behind it. And then we'll have that. So now this looks pretty good. If you want to go in and put like highlights on, say, the tongue or more shadows or anything like that, you can. For where I'm at right here, I think it looks pretty good, and I don't really need to do anything else to it as far as I can see at the moment. So yeah, this is that's pretty much how you create a mascot logo, and there's a bunch of different ways of going about it. This is just the way that I've always done it and what I think works. So you can see the before right up here in the corner, and yeah, I mean, I think I think this looks cooler. I think it's better than that just V. And yeah, they're not gonna use it, but who knows? Maybe they will. Yeah, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, hit me on Instagram, hit me in the comments, email me, whatever. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.